Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again. Tile 302. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of saying 300. Goodness me. What we're doing today this afternoon then. All right, I've got a few bits and pieces on the desk. You see, I've got my white pen. I've got a green and a red gel pen as well. I've got my tortillon and I've got a white chalky pencil. So that's all we're going to need. Of course, I'm going to go for a black tile. Not done for a little while, I don't think. So I thought we'd give it a go. Hi there, everybody. Hi, Chris. So here we go. First thing you want to do, though, whenever you're trying your white pencil, or your white gel pen, always give it a go on the back because it really needs to sort of get going. You know what gel pens are like. They take a while to get going and a while to dry. So you just want to make sure because you don't want to have to sort of be scratching around with it on the front. Okay. I've written with mine, so it's running pretty well this afternoon. So here we go. Right then, where shall we start? Okay, I'm going to start with a few bubbles actually. I'm not going to go in with pencil, straight in with pen. And I want a sort of a bit of a curve in there. So I'm not going to go through the middle. It's sort of slightly above here. So bubbles wise, not too small. Okay, you see that? It's a couple of mil, 2 or 3 mil across. And we want to leave a bit of a gap. Put another one in. Okay, now you notice what I'm doing is I'm actually going up, drawing the bubble and then going over it again. So I'm actually creating sort of a thicker, sort of more distinct shape there, you see? And there's another one. So I'm not really worrying too much about where my curve's going. You could put a pencil in, but I find sometimes doing pencil and then getting white pen over the top, sometimes you can't rub out the pencil underneath and it shows through. So be brave today and go in with pen straight away. Okay. All right. So I've just seen some of your work from the weekend. I've just liked it on Facebook. Really nice, that key, that little scene in there. It's beautiful. Okay, we've got a bit of a row. So it doesn't matter which side we start. I'm going to go this side first. I'm going to go from the bubble. Actually, let's go a little bit bigger. There we are. Look at the gray. Look at that. Oh, that paper's just lovely, isn't it? You can tell, looking at it like that, why it glides and why it blends so well. Okay. And then I'm going to do one this side. You see, from bubble to bubble. And then maybe this one. There we go. All right, let's just do that one. Oh, I just had a text come through. I didn't want to sort of have anything here in that. And then this one. That was a really good news text. Yes. Something I've been waiting for a very long time. It's almost here. You see, I've got these little bumps. I've got two, like little birds, aren't they? All going around. Good morning from New York. Hope you're well. We're having a bit of a cold snap over here, so I don't know what it's like over there. We sometimes get your weather, don't we? So maybe you've had the cold snap. I don't know. Okay, so we've got that little sort of shape going on. So next little bit then. Oh, so that's lovely to hear because, as you know, postage and things at the moment are a little bit hairy. If we've put that we've completed your order on our website, we've posted it, so please just bear with us, but patience. As you know, there's going to be a bit of a backlog with raw mail. Okay, you see what I'm doing there? I'm taking the one where I've got the bumps sort of like hills and I'm bringing it round and round there. So I've got these like little hearts going off. See, a little trail of hearts. Let's do this one. And again, I'm just sort of going over it a couple of times. There we go. And one. But you know, yours might be enough. I just want to make sure it's all there. There you go. Oh, so that's a good thing. Day early. Goodness me, you've been spoiled. I mean, quite honestly, it's not just parcels we're sending out, it's things that we're wanting to come in as well. You know, we've got to wait for. So I do hope they'll sort it soon. Okay. Oh, I know, Julie. I can see where the sun's been because we have artificial grass in the back garden, and there's a strip of it that the frost's melted away, and there's a strip of it that hasn't. So, yeah. Okay, see, so we've got this little row. I'm just going to sort of come down a bit so you can see the whole thing. Oh, how nice is that? I used to have a little bracelet like that, I'm sure. There we are. Okay, so next little bit then. What I'd like to do, I want the majority of it to be on this left-hand side here, in this smaller section up here to the right. I think that's perhaps the way to go. So focusing then on the hearts this side, so not this bit where we've got the biggest section. What I want to do is I'll draw it, then I'll sort of enlarge in. I'm going to draw a little piece of holly. So little curves. Oh, Christine, yes. I don't know where mine is. It was quite a while ago I had it. You see? Little piece of holly straight through the middle. And then I'm going to come along this way. See, it's curves. And curves. Now I know that there's some of us at the weekend were talking about doing holly, because you find that this one you always take too far. So let me just turn this over for a moment and show you what I mean. So you find it easy to do this one, but then doing this one, you see that's gone a bit too far. So trying to join it, you end up with that kind of shape or worse. So what we decided at the weekend in the class was, if you draw a line, then you're going to work from point to point, and then the same this side. And you've always got an ending point there. So it's just a little bit of an idea if you think, oh, a bit struggling over that. So let's have a look at this then. We've got 3 little holly leaves, and this is where the largest piece is. So it's like that. Okay. So I'm going to do the same on all of those hearts facing that way. So sort of a little bit of a side there, and then same this side. Now see, I actually find it easier to draw them that way, but whatever works for you, because of course we're all completely different, so you might find. But I do find starting at a point and then coming back and doing the same. So look, I'm starting at that point at the bottom, and then I go back and do it again. I find that gives me a neater holly leaf. There you are. Oh, don't even go to the point now, look. All right, you see? These little shapes going on. And in the middle first, and then one each side. Doesn't matter if they go over or under each other. You see, I'm still going to sort of get one in there. Look, get one on this side. And then a little bit here too. So I'll get that middle one in, look. And then I'll get that side one in there. Okay, there it is. So I'm just going to sort of zoom in for a minute with this. And I'm going to put my white pen down, and I'm just going to bring my red one in. And these little bubbles here, I'm just going to fill in the middle with my red pen. Just again, you know, it gives it a chance to dry off a little bit. So we've got a little string of little red beads there. Okay. And then with the green one, again, notice I'm starting from the top, because I don't want to have to lean on this when I get to the, you know, I don't want to have a chance of smudging it. So in we go with that. So I'm just going to work my way down. And again, you can add colour as you're going if you want to. You don't have to leave it till the end. So it's just another way of building something up in a different way, really. Well, I think, yeah, after 301 tiles, I think the number 302, we can change the rules slightly. There we are. Let's just move out a bit. So there we go. Got this lovely little sort of chain going on there. So okay, back to my white pen. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work on this side where I don't have the holly. So I'm going to turn it round a minute. And where I've got my little heart shapes there, I'm going to come in and put a curve over the top. So it's not touching either side, but it is going to curve over the top of that shape there. Okay. So then we can create that shape easily, sort of joining those lines together. Or you might want to do all of those first, and then all of those. Gives us that kind of a shape. All right, I'm going to do an aura of that line, not too wide. So let's do that again. You see, just follow the shape, point to point. And again, if you wanted to, you could do those lines first, so you do them all together, then those, and just build it up. If you want to sort of keep it going in the same way that we did the first drawing, or the first line. Okay, bit of a row there. Okay, I'm just going to come in with my red pen there, and I just want to fill that in a little bit with some colour. Again, don't worry if you go over the white, you can go back over with the white pen after. So, and of course, I can't always see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm there or thereabouts. And of course, you could use a different colour pen if you wanted to, or you could use your pastels or your coloured pencils. So anything really, it's your choice, your tile. It's entirely up to you. Oh, I see I've gone over the white there a little bit. It's okay, I'll come back and I'll do it with white pen in a little bit. All right. So next little bit then, and again I'm working in this smaller area. I'm going to bring up a line on those sections there. Okay, and then the same here, but because this is a little bit lower, then this is going to be a bit lower, you see? So that's about the same. So I'm getting this kind of shape. Okay, I'll turn it around. Oh, Sue, I know you feel it's not pleasant. I do hope you're not going to be too sore for too long. It's awful, isn't it? It's not just the how you feel after, it's the fall itself, isn't it? You just feel daft. I know. All right. See little curves across the top of each of them. Don't you worry. All right. So that's sort of how it looks. And again, I'm going to put a little aura around the top of that. There we go, up and along. Just take your time, do a little bit in one go, that's it. But once you've sort of started a curve, commit to it, draw it all the way around. You see? So where did I do that red? There you go. So you can come back over with the white and put that in. So let's do a little bit of green in this one. And again, the nice thing about these is they're metallic, but they're not sort of really taking over the piece. They're just adding to it rather than really being, you know, showing off and wanting to be front and centre. There we are. And again, because I'm not sort of looking over my tile, I'm from an angle. If I've missed bits, I can go back and add them in a short while. Okay, there we go. It's not too bad, all that. Again, it gives that subtle little bit of colour, doesn't it? And again, I can go back over that in a little bit. So that's where we're at so far. All right, so I'm going to come back to this bit in a short while, I think, and so with this one as well. I'll give that a chance to to all dry off before I start going in and doing anything else with it. See, that's a little bit wet still, so okay, not to worry. Next little bit then, I want to come across this section here. So let's have a look. Before we sort of followed the shape of the hearts, so this time I'm going to follow the shape of the holly. So I'm almost going point to point with those hearts around that holly. And then it's going to sort of create this scalloped kind of effect. And again, work which is best for you. If it's better that you go up bank like that, then do that. But if not, do it the same way that I did. Yeah. Oh, let's see, we don't do black so many, really, do we, in comparison to all the other colours. But there's something really magical, I think, about using a black tile and a white pen. I mean, you can put loads and loads of white on, but it still looks good. There we go. Alright, so we've got that. Just going to come in with a few dots. I'm going to say dots. You don't want to completely sort of go crazy. Try and hold your pen a little bit more upright and you'll get a better better dot. Because it won't look more ovally, it'll look a little rounder. Okay, and this is when you know you've got a good white pen going, because it's going to complete this sort of little piece quite easily. You know, slow it down a little bit. Don't think you've got to go really quick with them. It's a nice one to do this, so just enjoy the moment and putting that white on. You see, I'm real close to that line, but then it sort of splits up a little bit, gets a little bit more free as we go out. This is quite tight at this line. Alright. You see? And then along we go. So it doesn't have to be a lot, just sort of gives us something that we can work with. Along that little bit. There it is. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to come in with some large bubbles. So it doesn't matter where we start. There we go. I'm just going to put one in here. You see, I'm sort of ever so gently following it round. So I'm almost, I can see the end bit. Okay, so see, it's not too small, that. So again, let's do another one. And all the while I'm drawing, I am seeing that end line and where the two join together, sort of in my mind. Because of course we don't really want to be doing all these in pencil first. We want to get some of them in straight away. And it's really tricky to draw a large bubble, I know. To have one that you're happy with anyway, so there it is. I'm going to do one here as well. I don't mind there being gaps in between. Okay, so you can see I'm sort of working it around. And let's do another one. Okay. There we go. See, let's have a look at the whole tile. See, I'm starting to... There we go, into this one. Alright. You see. And let's have another one here. Sort of working my way down. Not keeping them too small. They can be slightly different sizes. Don't think you've got to have them all exactly the same. There we go. Alright, then one here. Okay. Let's do another one. Maybe a little one here. You see, I've not gone quite way to the top either. Doesn't matter. Got a few, and then let's have another one sort of here. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to give them a chance to settle down a little bit. That's okay, Leslie. I didn't forget the time. I know, we're all busy. There you are. So I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to come to this bit here. What I would like to do is, within all these sections, is I'm going to run 2 more lines all the way along. You see, following those curves. If you can't get 2 in, then just go for 1. And if you can get 4 in, go for 4. That's absolutely fine. Whatever works. It depends, of course, on how, you know, how wide your space is here. There you go. So just sort of work it out for yourself. Look at your tile. Look at how much space you've got. Okay. And then each section, let's I'm going to split into sort of 3. So I've got some little squares or a bit of a grid going on. Now you'll notice that I'm going part way, and then I'll switch it round. See that one? And then I can go this way, which means I'm not going to sort of rub into that white pen there. Okay. There it is. So let's bring that red and green pen back in. Start with the, don't matter which really. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose just a few of these sort of grid spaces. I'm going to fill it in with colour. So a little bit of an exercise in doing random, unless you want to do all of them. But I just want to give it a little bit of a hint of colour in places. So, you know, don't sort of think a pattern, just sort of think, I'm just going to put them where the pen sort of leads me. It's a bit tricky, I know. See, they can be close together. That one on the end. Alright. And again, like I say, I've just gone over with a bit of red there. Once it's dry, I can go back up and touch it in with my regular pen, my white pen. Okay, let's bring some of that green in. As you think about it, when we've put a bit of shading on it, it's not going to show anyway. Ooh. Let's go ahead and tell the tile. I'll let go of the tile, I was still colouring. Alright. There we go, ceased. In with that. I think maybe, yeah, I think maybe I'm going to do that one there. Okay. So again, I'm just going to leave that to dry off a little bit, and then I'm going to come back. Oh, Kathy, I know what you mean. It can be real strugglesome, can't they? I mean, what do I have here? I've got, look, a Signo. I've got a Jelly Roll 8, and I've got a 5. Yeah. So what I find is, if I just turn this over a bit, the Signos usually work pretty well straight off. But you can sometimes, I don't know if you can see, you sort of get a little bit of a split. I don't know if you can quite see that. It's like a little lining. So that's because that's that kind of nib, which is very similar to the nibs I've got on my gel pens. I find the 05 Jelly Roll, it's fine, but I find that it doesn't sort of give you as white a white. Does that make sense? You see that there? And this one, I say, once you get a good one and you get it going, see, this one actually is pretty good, if I'm honest. So, okay, let's come back to these then. I'm going to come up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to choose, I'm going to put a little rectangle on the top there. See, a little bit of a curve to go with the sort of bubble shape. And then let's turn it round and do another one. You see, slight curve. Another slight curve. Just do one there. See, it's going to hide in there. So just keep turning your tile. You know, if you've got a little bit, see like that, I've got an extra bit of a line. That's where you're going to put your little shape there. See, this is a little bit flatter there. So if I do that, it's going to change the shape a little bit. Let's put this one up here. One there. And on there. Okay, see how that sort of gives it sort of a different element to it. And we've all drawn bubbles, we know what they're like, so adding this little bit of a difference. Okay, let's have a look at that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and put a little bit of a highlight on. See, let's do that on the big one. Doesn't matter where, you see, just sort of a little bit gives it an idea that it's got some shine to it. And again, I'm not going to do it on every side the same because it's sort of they're sort of moving around with the lights sort of changing direction as we go. So that's kind of nice to do it that way. See, even if it's a tiny little dot, it's something. Okay, same sort of thing on these. You see, it just sort of gives it a little bit of highlight there. Okay, so let's come back to this side and I'm going to go a little bit larger. We've done curls before, so this time we're going to do our curl, but we're going to really curl it on the inside to a little dot. Well, let's try this way. Along, see, it curls before, but let's go all the way in with a dot. So I'm going to do these along this sort of this border, you know, and curl it as much as you can. See, you fit as many swirls in as you can there. Let's do it this way. They can be different sizes. They can crisscross if you want them to. Swirl it at the bottom there. And you know, they're going to go and face different ways. Working it in. There we are. See how it sort of works its way around. And the next one. And it just sort of, it fills up ever so quickly. And again, if your pen's a little bit scratchy in places, that adding that little bobble on the end helps get it flowing again. So just to finalise this, I'm going to start inwards and come outwards and add in some swirls on their own. If you find it easy to go out and then come in, you can, but I find they're perhaps a little more open when I do it that way. I don't think I'm in control as much. There you go, see? Just little ones, and then add in some dots. Again, just make sure that you're not leaning on any of that white gel pen as it goes. There we go. See, just sort of adding this touch. It is a little bit like snow, isn't it? Although we don't really want snow. If you do have some, I'm really sorry. I really don't like snow. Don't get on with it. Cold and ugh, no. No. I'd rather see lots of green fields, not snowy ones. There you go. Alright, let's have a look at that. Okay, that's not looking too bad at all. So we need to just do a couple more, I think, with our dots being that side. Adding some in here as well. And again, make sure you keep your pen upright. It's going to bring that little bit, you know, of consistency along there. See, just little bits. Oh, I know, Pat. Do you know, just take one of each of these elements and do a little border across a card. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? This on its own, for example, or using this one with a little bit of that would make lovely little cards. Okay, see, I've not overdone it, just got a few in there. You think, okay, we've got these lovely little baubles. What about, we're not going to draw the ring. It's no, we're not going to do it with pen. I'm going to come in with my chalky pencil. And if you haven't got one, a white pencil would do sort of similar. But watch, what I'm going to do is just draw part of it. So, you know, it's almost like it's just a hint that there's like a ring on there for you to add your threads through. Just a little hint. It could be on either side. Doesn't matter. Okay. And then if I bring my tortillon in, I can extend it round, soften it off and give it a little bit of a hint that it's there. Now, if you've seen the pictures from the weekend classes, you'll see that we did something a little bit like this with a bauble. It'd be nice to actually put baubles inside a bauble, wouldn't it? Now that'd look nice. You could have all these lovely little baubles inside the thing. See, so you've got a little hint. Oh, look at that. Okay, just little hints. Now we just want to fade them off. We know they're there, but I don't want them to be sort of the foreground of anything. Just a little bit of a hint. So then back in with my pencil. I'm going to add some to the opposite side of where we added the pen highlights. A little bit different. And of course, if you wanted to with this, you could add coloured pencils. You could come in with pastels. Pastels, as you know, you would work in exactly the same way as I'm doing with this. But pencils, you wouldn't be able to use a tortillon to sort of blend it. Okay. Now I could have come in here and added another sort of colour. I think actually I'm going to do that. Doesn't matter which. I might go green actually. And let's just fill in that section there. Of course, when you've done this, we've got to wait for it to dry just a little bit before we can do any shading there. But that's fine. We can work on the other side. See, just adding that touch in there makes a difference. And actually, considering they're a metallic and they're not bad, they do cover quite well, don't they? See, just in we go. All right, I'm going to leave that just for a little minute to dry off. Oh, thank you, Marie. Okay, so looking at my little heart shapes, I'm going to again add a highlight. Don't think you've got to keep them in the same position. See, change them about a bit. So it helps them to sort of appear as though they're moving. And then let's have a look at this. Now, you see where I'd started to those initial lines. So let's add some pencil either side of those. Just want to accentuate that little shape there. See? This one there. And around there. We did actually have one in the middle, but I'm ignoring that one. I'm just going with the curves. Okay, there we are. And then I'm going to add some. Again, I'm not being too shy with this. Let's get some of this chalk on there. There we go. All right. And then I am going to come back and put some chalk there too, but I'm going to make sure that that is dry before I do. So here we go then. Let's come on in with my tortillon. Let's start with this one, being that I'm sort of in this position. Let's soften all this off. There we are. Okay. And you see it's sort of giving it that little bit of a misty effect. We've had that all week, haven't we? So I think we all know that pretty well. There you go. All right. And then this bit, I'm going to follow it first at one side. I'll do a little bit down there. And then the other. See? There. And there. That way. And that way. You see how it just sort of keeps going? You're getting this lovely sort of directional bit of shading going on. Makes a change, doesn't it, with a lot of white on? There we go. So, into our hearts. And stop. Now, usually, we'd say, oh, leave part of it. But in this case, I'm actually going to shade quite a lot of it, you know, and I've just left a little bit. There we go. See how it just sort of easily covers. Oh yeah. And there. Now to this one, let's just give this little bit of a highlight. And then of course I can come in a bit of a shade. There we go. You'll notice as well, when I actually shade this, I'm not, certainly with bubbles in general, I've not gone right to the very edge, you see there? And what I've actually created, second, is there's a little bit of a line. You see where there's, you can still see the colour of the tile underneath. It's one of those things I do. It doesn't mean you have to every time, but it is something that I do quite a bit. Some people do go edge to edge, but I like that little bit of shade there. Let's see if I move out a little bit now. You see, it's got that lovely sort of almost glassy kind of effect. Because, you know, we're using the white, it immediately gives it that little bit of shadow. But of course, bring your coloured pencils and your pastels to do this, and you can get different colour bubbles. But yeah, I wanted to focus my colours here today. Alright then, let's come back in with our white pencil, and I'm going to go all the way along this line here. And again, I'm not being shy about it. I want to get to plenty on there. There we are. And then in we go with, I'm going to go in with swirls. Just make sure that your gel pen, if you've put that on, is dry before you do this. Because otherwise you'll find it'll be smudging a little bit. We don't want that. See, it just sort of takes that edge off there a bit. There we go. And I can blow. Alright, let's have a little look at that. How beautiful is that? I say every single one of these could be a separate little border on its own right. This, if you did a big bubble and filled it with these little baubles, it'd look lovely, wouldn't it? It's just lovely. And they just look fantastic. I'm actually really pleased with them. I'm going to add a little bit more in. You know, just on those outer ones. Again, come back in. Just sort of give them a little bit more. There we go. Alright, and this, we know they're baubles, but just having this little bit of a in there works quite nicely, doesn't it? So yeah, absolutely love that. And of course I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come back in. See, I'm faffing now with my red, you know, and if you've gone over it with your white pencil and you've been blending, you see, look at the difference between that and that now. There we go. So let's just make that a little bit bigger. So doing a second layer. I mean, you could do this all at the end if you wanted to. You don't have to do it as I did it all the way through, but I think it's nice to see how it grows. And, yeah. Just throwing my pens around my desk. There we go. See, just sort of where those come in. Some of it doesn't really matter. And I think I'm just going to come in and touch those. Imagine using a little bit of glossy accents over the top of some of these little berries, or maybe the hearts or something, just to accentuate it. Or a bit of sparkle would be nice. There you go. We've got that little bit of metallic in there. Yeah. Okay, so last thing is to sign it off. So white pen, of course, and I'm going to put it down here. Let's have a look. Making sure it's going to run. There we are. Job done. So for number 302, and of course, if you're still looking at doing your Christmas cards, you can say take any of those for a little border. little Merry Christmas on it, job done. Or you can, you know, reproduce this tile. And I'm so pleased I did it on black because, yes, it would look just beautiful on a white tile, but actually I think it's got something about it, hasn't it? That, well, even that way, look, that just gives it that little bit of something else in black. So there we are. So all that's left for me to say is, okay, have a great weekend. I will see some of you tomorrow if you're doing the Advent tiles. It's tile number 17 tomorrow. Don't know what time I'm going to do it, but it'll be there and it's not going to go anywhere. And I know that my friend Chris puts them onto YouTube as well. So other than that, I will see you Tuesday with tile number 303. So have a good one, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.